how to win the invisible game with women, and it comes down to one moment. And you know the moment. You're staring at your phone, there's this message from a cool, attractive girl that you've been going back and forth with, the conversation's been great, and you know that you should ask her out, but your thumb hovers over the keyboard. You start typing, delete it. Type again, delete again. Maybe I should wait another day. Maybe I should keep the conversation going longer. Maybe I should make sure she's really interested first. And in that moment, you're doing something 99% of guys don't even realize. You're showing which side of the invisible divide you're on. The divide that separates the guys who succeed with women from the guys who consistently struggle. See, in my 15 years of coaching men, I've discovered there's really only one factor that determines which side of this divide you fall on, and here it is. Are you playing to win or are you playing not to lose? This single distinction explains everything. Why some guys seem to effortlessly attract women while other guys get stuck in endless maybe situations. Why some guys can boldly go after what they want while other guys keep waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. So let me show you a moment that makes this crystal clear. A moment that instantly reveals which side of the divide you're on. And it's a little pop quiz. Okay, here it is. You're on a date. The chemistry's electric. She's giving you all the signs, playing with her hair, leaning in close, looking at your lips. Then suddenly she throws out, "I'm not gonna kiss you." What do? Honestly, watch how fast most guys fold. "Oh no, I wasn't trying to." Or, "I totally respect that. That's not even what I was thinking." When you mutter any of these, you're playing not to lose. You're scrambling to avoid rejection. You're terrified of looking like that guy. And when you play not to lose, I can almost guarantee that's exactly what you're gonna do. Lose. Now in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how to handle moments like these, including specific responses that turn these tests into opportunities to create massive attraction. But here's the reality that took me years of coaching to understand. While most guys are playing defense with women, carefully trying not to mess things up, the men who actually succeed are playing offense. They're making bold moves, they're taking risks, and most importantly, they're playing to win. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 critical moments where most guys sabotage themselves, the exact words to say in these moments, including what to say when she hits you with the "I'm not going to kiss you" line that I gave you earlier, and the mindset shift that changes everything, and how to build what I call your abundance pipeline. By the end, you'll understand exactly how to stop playing defense with your dating life and start playing to win. Hi, I'm Bobby Rio, and after coaching thousands of men for the past 15 years, I've noticed something fascinating. The guys who struggle most with women aren't failing because of their looks, their job, or even their social skills. Very often they're failing because they're playing the wrong game entirely. I know because I used to be the master of playing this wrong game called playing not to lose instead of playing to win. I remember this situation that still gives me a little pang of regret when I think about it. I was working at a restaurant at a college, and there was this coworker of mine, Lisa, and we'd often, after work, after our shifts ends with the rest of the crew, we'd always go for a drink, sit around and talk. And while Lisa was kind of on the shy side, we'd always wind up together. Every single time, we'd wind up together. And you know those sort of moments where everyone else fades into the background, where you're both finding any excuse you can to talk to each other, laughing at the jokes, glancing at each other across the room. Well, that was us. We went out 3 or 4 different nights, and every single time we ended up being the last 2 people there. 3 different nights, I walked her to her car, and 3 different nights, I talked myself out of making a move. You know, maybe I'm misreading the signals. What if it makes things weird at work? Let me wait until I know for sure that she's into me. Well, each time I'd go home after that, and I'd kick myself, right? We've all been there, right? I'd go home and I'd promise myself, well, next time I'm gonna go for the kiss, or next time I'm gonna say something that lets her know that I'm attracted to her. Well, I had taken off one weekend from work, and as usual, my rest of my coworkers went out for drinks that night, and I came in Monday morning, and a coworker of mine, kind of a friend, Jeff, comes up to me, and he's like, "Yo, Friday, guess who I kissed?" And I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "Guess." And I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "Lisa." Now, Jeff assumed that Lisa and me were just friends, so, he wasn't rubbing it in my face or being mean about it, right? And I don't even blame him for being excited. Honestly, I couldn't blame Lisa either, because in her mind, I hadn't made a move after 4 times hanging out. So she probably assumed we were just friends too. Well, that was my wake-up call. See, what I learned from working with clients is that this pattern of playing not to lose, These are the moments that separate the guys who end up dating the women they want from the guys who end up watching from the sidelines or settling for some woman they're not really even that into. So I'm gonna show you 3 different situations. Same test, different response. One guy playing not to lose, the other guy playing to win. All right, so let's go through 3 different scenarios. So we got text game. Scenario 1, text game. So what does playing not to lose looks like? It's when you're texting with a woman that you really like and it's been a few weeks, the conversations are amazing, you're both into the same music, the same jokes, everything. You want to suggest meeting up for drinks, but you're worried. You're worried about ruining that good thing you have going on with her. You're worried that maybe she thinks it's too soon, or maybe you're too aggressive, or maybe she's not ready, and if you ask her, like, you have all these things going on in your mind. So you keep the conversation safe. You keep sending her these carefully crafted messages, double checking for typos and waiting for the right amount of time before you respond. I see text exchanges from clients all the time. In fact, just last week, one guy tells me, Bobby, this girl, she keeps rejecting me. I don't know what to do. Can you look at my messages and see what I'm doing wrong? So I read through his messages and I realized something. He never actually ever asked her out. He kept dropping vague hints and hoping that, she took the initiative. This is defense, right? Defense is like not actually taking that bold move of going, let's go out one night, right? It's, hey, I like this. Oh, maybe it's that very vague place where you never really let her know that you even want to hang out with her. And it's defense at its worst, right? You're so afraid of losing that you never even take a shot. Now, watch how this same situation plays out when you're playing to win. All right, you enjoy the text conversation, but you recognize that texting really is just a means to an end. Like, you don't date a girl by texting her. You have to actually see her in person. You have to get physical. You have to get intimate. So when you're playing to win, after a good exchange, you simply text, let's continue this over drinks. I know a great spot downtown. How about Friday night? Very simple. You put your offer out there, you invited her out, and now you're already making plans for the weekend, whether she's part of them or not. See, that's the difference. One guy's protecting what he has. The other guy is going after what he wants, and if he doesn't get it, he moves on. He doesn't worry about it because he's not attached to it. So scenario 2 is the first date kiss. And I know a lot of guys, back in the day I was included in this, have a lot of anxiety around going for that first kiss. Remember that moment that I showed you earlier at the start of the video when she says, I'm not gonna kiss you, or she turns her cheek, or she does something, right? But if a woman says, I'm not gonna kiss you, this is where everything we've been talking about comes together in terms of playing not to lose versus playing to win. So what do I mean? Well, playing not to lose, the date's going well, you've got great conversation, you're both laughing, there's this definite chemistry, you're walking her back to her car, all the signs are there, but instead of leading the interaction, your mind starts racing. What if I miss the signals? What if she turns away when I go for it? What if this ruins everything, right? And then she throws out that test. And she says it in a very nice, casual way. I'm not gonna kiss you tonight. Now, when you're playing not to lose, you immediately go into full defense mode. Oh no, I wasn't trying to. I totally respect that. That's not what I was even thinking. I had a client last month. He told me how he'd been on 3 different dates with different women, and each time he ended the night with that awkward, hug and a pat on the back because he was waiting for that perfect moment. He was playing not to lose, and guess what? He kept losing. Now, watch how this plays out when you're playing to win. You've enjoyed getting to know her and you're picking up those same vibes. But here's the key difference. You're not in your head about it. You're not thinking what could go wrong because you're too busy leading the interaction towards what you want. And when she says something like, I'm not gonna kiss you tonight, you don't get all bugged out. You respond with a playful smile because when she says something like that, it's a test. Now, we've talked about tests in other videos. You can watch some of my other ones where I talk about how to handle tests, but just know that this is a test and the correct answer is not the correct answer. The correct answer is how you respond. Does it throw you off your game or do you keep your composure? So when she says something like, I'm not gonna kiss you, you respond with a playful smile. Who said anything about kissing? You seem pretty confident about what's on my mind. Or my personal favorite, good, I like a woman who doesn't make it easy. So why do these responses work? Because they show that you're not afraid of the tension. You're not scrambling to defend yourself. You're not backtracking. You're comfortable playing offense. If she turns away, no problem. Plenty more dates in your future. You're not playing defense. You're not trying to protect that one opportunity. You're playing to win, and winners know there's always another shot. So remember that story that I told you about my coworker Lisa and how I kept waiting for the perfect moment that never came? So let's talk about scenario 3, which is the office connection. So playing not to lose is you've been having this great conversation with someone at work. There's those little moments at the coffee machine and they've become the highlight of your day. The chemistry is obvious. You both light up around each other. You've got the inside joke, the spark, everyone around you notices. I see this exact situations with clients all the time. I had a guy that I was working with, Daryl, and a very successful guy, executive, confident in business meetings, but he'd been doing this dance with a coworker for 6 months when he came to me. And it was almost, I want to say, embarrassing for him. You know, he tells me that, Bobby, we get coffee together every morning and we text each other on weekends, and sometimes we're the last 2 people at the office, and we go to happy hour, and we're always together and everyone thinks we're dating. But instead of making a move, he's protecting this perfect dynamic. He's mastered the art of being flirty, but not too flirty, personal, but not too personal. And you've built this whole future in your head, but you won't risk the comfort of possibility for the reality of certainty. And here's the cruel irony. I've seen this same situation play out hundreds of times with clients, and you know exactly how it ends. Just like my story with Lisa ended. Someone else comes along who's playing to win, and they make their move while you're still waiting for the perfect moment. Now, let's look at what playing to win looks like in this same situation, right? You got the coworker, you got the chemistry, you've got the connection, but instead of getting caught in that limbo of possibility, you recognize that real connection requires risk, right? It requires tension. It requires taking a leap of faith. So after a particularly great happy hour conversation, instead of letting it fade into another what if or next time, you look at her and you go, I'm enjoying our conversations at work, but I'd rather continue this over drinks, just the 2 of us. How's Thursday? Notice what's different here? You're not being reckless. You're not even saying I really like you and I want to take you out, but you are saying, I'd rather continue this just the 2 of us. You're giving her a date. How's Thursday? Let's have drinks, right? It's not desperate, but you're simply moving the interaction towards a very clear outcome. You're acknowledging the professional dynamic, right? Like, I want to be just the 2 of us because, hey, listen, I don't blame you for not making a move in front of all your coworkers. So when you say just the 2 of us, she gets the point. Oh, he wants to be a little discreet. She gets it. And you're kind of in a sort of clear way setting your attentions. And if she says yes, great. If she says no, that's also fine. You've got other options, you've got other opportunities in your life. But here's the good news, right? Either way, you're not stuck anymore. You're not in that purgatory of possibility. One of the worst things that I tell guys, and I've been there myself, is when you have what I call a mirage girl. A mirage girl is like when you've got her and in your head you think one day I'm gonna make something with her. But the problem with that is if you've ever chased a mirage, you know that they're literally a mirage. They disappear, right? They're not real. The other problem with it is that when you don't have clarity, right? When you're afraid to take that risk and you're afraid with that female friend that, well, if I go for a kiss one night and it gets weird, I'm gonna lose her. So you keep her around and you keep, dancing that possibility around your mind. The big problem with that is that you're cutting off every other opportunity you could possibly have for something that really may or may not happen. So you're always better going for it and knowing where you stand. Because here's what a lot of guys miss. The temporary comfort of maybe is actually way more painful than any rejection you'll ever get. When you're playing to win, you understand that clarity, even if it's not the answer that you've hoped for, is better than endless uncertainty. Now, look at these 3 scenarios again, right? They're playing defense because they're operating from a place of scarcity. So this right here, why some guys naturally play to win while other guys play defense, is what I call your dating operating system. Just like your phone, runs on iOS or Android, and it has an operating system, your dating life runs on one of 2 operating systems. So you're either running the Scarcity OS or the Abundance OS. And here's what's fascinating. The operating system that you're running determines which game you're playing. Guys running Scarcity OS, they're forced to play not to lose. They're like someone down for their last $100. Every decision becomes about protecting that little they have. And here's the cruel irony. This scarcity mindset actually creates more scarcity. When you're operating from a place of perceived limited options, you come across as needy, you overinvest early in connections, you ignore red flags, you accept poor treatment, you stay in situations that you shouldn't, you are willing to be a woman's backup plan, you project an energy that repels new opportunity. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe you have limited options, so you act desperate, which leads to fewer options, which reinforces your belief in scarcity. But here's what changes everything. Your options aren't actually limited. You just think they are because you're looking at your dating life all wrong. Most guys approach their dating life like they're hunting for rare gems in some barren landscape. They think that, attractive women who might be interested in them are a scarce resource and they need to be, careful to protect this scarce resource. But men who play to win, they know something entirely different. They know that opportunities are abundant if you know how to create them. But guys running on abundant OS, they naturally play to win. They can make bold moves because they know there's always more opportunity. Well, here's the good news. Just like you can upgrade your phone's operating system, you can upgrade your dating operating system. This is why we need to talk about something I call the abundance pipeline, because until you understand how to create a constant flow of opportunities in your dating life, you'll keep falling into the scarcity traps. You'll keep playing not to lose. You'll keep trying to protect your maybes, living in that prison of what if. And this was one of the big things I realized coaching guys is like so many guys that have come to us for coaching are there not because it's like this one woman is so perfect. They're there because they're operating from a place of scarcity and they're so afraid to lose her. But you need to understand something very crucial. Abundance isn't about having unlimited options. It's about knowing that you can create new options whenever you need them. This is key. So this really is what separates guys who play to win from guys who play not to lose. The guy who knows he can create new opportunities doesn't need to protect the ones he has. He doesn't need to play it safe. He can take risks. He can be direct. He can go after what he wants. He can go for the kiss because he knows that if it doesn't work out, he can just create more opportunities. That's the real difference between guys in our scenarios who are playing not to lose and the ones who are playing to win. It's not really the fear of going for the kiss and getting rejected. It's the fear of, if I don't make it work with this girl, I've got to go out there and create more opportunities. When it comes to the invisible game of attraction, the winners aren't necessarily better looking, smoother, or even more successful. They simply understand something that most guys don't. Options aren't something you find, they're something you create. Here's what building an abundance pipeline looks like. Stop treating every interaction like it's your last chance. Instead of thinking, I need to make this work, think, I'm here to discover if we're a good fit. Create multiple channels for meeting women, social circles, expanding your social circles, activities that you genuinely enjoy. Online dating and dating apps can be done, be good if they're done right. And unfortunately, most guys don't. Even just daily interactions, right? This way, no single interaction carries too much weight. If the only time you leave your house is to go to the gym and you think that's the only place that you're going to meet women, well, every time you go to the gym, there's going to be a lot of pressure not to lose. On the other hand, if every time you leave the house, you're like, man, I'm just going to interact. I'm just going to become a fun, playful guy who just has fun talking to women. Well, you then begin to focus on becoming a guy who naturally attracts women. And that guy has way more opportunities rather than the guy who's desperately hunting for him. But here's what most guys miss. Building an abundance pipeline isn't just about having more opportunities to meet women. It's about being the kind of man who naturally attracts those opportunities. Think about it. The guys who always have options with women, they're not necessarily, like I said, the best looking or the richest, but they have something else. They have what I call high status energy. And this is what I discovered after years of coaching guys. When you're perceived as high status, you naturally create abundance. Women are drawn to you, opportunities flow to you, and most importantly, and this isn't just with women, it's the same thing in career or with business. The higher your status is, the more abundance you have because people are drawn to you. And you also stop feeling that need to play defense because you know your value. So this is why I created a free masterclass called 3 Steps to Status, Value, and Power. In this 90-minute masterclass, you're gonna discover how to completely transform your status, the 12 low status signals you're unknowingly sending out, and how to eliminate them. 6 specific behaviors and attitudes that instantly can command respect and admiration. 3 subtle conversations manipulation tactics that send high status signals without you having to say much at all. Then I'll reveal how to position yourself as the prize, real world examples of what to do and say to demonstrate value and command respect. The only way you should ever respond to women's tests, like some of the ones we've talked about in this video, and how to do it in a way that leaves her feeling more attracted to you, more excited to be with you, how to become the man in any social scene where women actually want to lock you down without you having to do all the work. Most importantly, I'll show you how to take this information and make it a permanent transformation, how to finally shed that feeling of I'm not good enough and everyone else is more important than me, how to make people recognize and respect you immediately. This translates to business, financial, dating, and social success. The exact steps to build the kind of reputation that attracts high-quality women naturally. This isn't just about dating. This is about transforming how the world sees you and how you see yourself. Look, you can keep playing defense, protecting every interaction, living in the scarcity mindset, or you can learn how to create real abundance by becoming the kind of man that women naturally want to pursue. I have a few sessions of this masterclass coming up. There's a link below. You can click it to join me, and let's transform you from playing not to lose to playing to win. Remember, the fantasy of what could be might feel safe, but it's actually a prison, and it's time to break free and start creating the dating life that you actually want. So I'll see you in the masterclass, and as always, if you found this video helpful, hit like, make sure you subscribe, and leave me a comment and let me know what you'd like to see covered in future videos.